South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty, here we go. It is Super Bowl Day 2024 in your gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are just cranking up early this morning. Behind me, the sports book is already half full, and we've got 8.5 hours until kickoff at 3:30 this afternoon Pacific time. But they're already starting to mill around, and people are having breakfast out here. They're having their coffee, they're sharing ideas, and they are wearing their colors. Trust me, everybody in this book, for the lack of maybe a few people, are wearing a lot of red out there. It's either the San Francisco red or the Kansas City Chiefs red, but as you know, big Super Bowl today, right down the street at Allegiant Stadium. But here in the South Point, this place is going to be rocking, that's for sure, because here from the South Point studios, by the way, here at the South Point complex, hotel casino here in Las Vegas, right on the Las Vegas Strip, on the Las Vegas Boulevard. All the showrooms, all the big banquet rooms, everything's going to be open, free of charge. Come on down. Gates, the gates, the doors open at 10:30 this morning, where you can get your seats to the big tables, the big rooms, and all that. We'll tell you a little bit later on about that, and where you can come here a little bit later on, but the place is going to be rocking, that's for sure. And, of course, we'll sneak in a little bit of horse racing in there before the big game starts, that's for sure. Tracks, a couple of tracks, about 3 tracks on our racing menu today. We'll have early post times to make sure they're done before the kickoff in the Super Bowl. And we do have, of course, wrapping up what happened yesterday as far as our Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby, and, of course, the Kentucky Oaks. 3 preps yesterday with the leaderboard points that were handed out. At least 2 of those races were. Explain a little bit that later on. But today we have some great racing around before the main event, the Super Bowl. On the today's show, of course, we've got Jonathan Ardoon standing by. Jonathan had 5 handicapping sheets yesterday, and boy, he was good. Very, especially on the show. He gave us the winner of the Sam Davis and another winner at Tampa Bay as well. So Jonathan's seeing the ball well, so to speak. Of course, John Lindo, Jerry Jackowicz, and Rich Eng with the final on the Super Bowl odds as they are at the moment. And certainly his selection, his picking in that vanilla, bet I say, who's going to win the game? That's what we want to know. And of course, Jerry Jackowicz will be along with us as well. So without any further ado, let's take a look at some of the results from yesterday, and then we'll go to our first break and get Jonathan rocking and rolling with us here as well. Tampa Bay Downs yesterday, of course, the big race was the Sam Davis at a mile and 1/16. The winner there was No More Time for trainer Jose D'Angelo and jockey Paco Lopez. Paco Lopez guiding No More Time to an on-the-pace win yesterday. 10-1 on the morning line. Jonathan's pick on the show, and they bet him down, and they kept betting him right through the start of the race because he was 10-1. When they broke out of the gate, he was 9-2. When he was alone down the backstretch on the lead, he went down to 3-1. No More Time won the race and paid $860 for that win. At the start of the race, number 8, Ever Do It, lost its jockey, stumbled at the starting gate, but the rider was okay. Todd Pletcher was going for his 7th win in the Sam Davis, but he didn't get it. His horse, A Gate Road, ran second. West Saratoga was third. West Saratoga, of course, was attending the early pace with No More Time. He held on to be third. No More Time wins the Sam Davis. He's got 20 Kentucky Derby leaderboard points with that win in the Sam Davis. Earlier on in the card, they held the Suncoast Stakes for 3-year-old fillies with 20 points for the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard at stake. The winner there was Power Squeeze. Another win by Jonathan Hardoon. He liked Power Squeeze in the race. Remember, when we were going over those races yesterday, Jonathan said he did not like the heavy favorite in the race, and the heavy favorite did not respond as well. And Power Squeeze squeezed out the victory there in the Suncoast. Danielle Centeno, the rider, Jorge Delgado, the trainer, and Power Squeeze also paid $8 even for the win. 20 Kentucky Oaks points for that one. Second was Who Could Ask for More, and the third horse was America's Value, or America's Vow, I should say. And that was the two big races with the point getters yesterday. The other stakes wins on the card. The winner of the Minaret was Chi-Town Lady, Tyler Gaffleone and Wesley Ward, $8 even there. Set a new course record time, a new stakes record, I should say, stakes record for the Minaret, 109.29 for the 6 furlongs. Big win there, that's for sure. The Pelican Stakes won by Sibelius. Junior Alvarado aboard for Jeremiah Dwyer, paying $680. And those were the other two stakes races on the card at Tampa Bay. At Santa Anita, the La Virgenes that was scheduled a week ago but ran on Saturday yesterday because of the cancellation last Sunday. Las Virgenes was won by the Bob Baffert trainee Kinza. Now, Kinza went gate to wire, never looked like a loser. Copion, the other big favorite, was tracking in second but just couldn't make any impact. Kinza pays $4 even to win. Copion was second. She's a Tempest to finish third in the race. That was Juan Hernandez's second win of the day there. 20 Kentucky Oaks points for the winner, but the winner was trained by Bob Baffert. So that goes back into the bank. And other winners on the stakes races yesterday at Santa Anita, the Palos Verdes, won by Big City Lights, who just got up in the nick of time right at the end. Puts a nose on the wire to get the win there. And the winner there, Big City Lights, Flavian Pratt for Dick Mandela, $2.80 for the filthy favorite. In the race, See Through It finished second, and finishing third in the race Hopkins finished second. See Through It was third. Hopkins was second. Hopkins was the one that just got nailed, set all the pace in the race, just got nailed in the finish of the Palos Verdes. And in the San Marcos, at a mile and a quarter on the turf course, the winner there was Missed the Cut. Joel Rosario squeezed through the rail in that race. And I'm telling you, that was a tight fit, but he got through. He was stalking the leaders at the top of the stretch, found the room on the rail, got up to win, missed the cut, paid $4.40. John Sadler, the trainer there, finishing second in the race was second was Planetario. Planetario was second. I have my a note on here. Planetario finished second. There was a disqualification for third. Balladeer, I should say. Excuse me. Balladeer finished third, but was disqualified for interference. They placed Irish Prophet in the third spot, disqualified Balladeer to fourth. That yesterday at Santa Anita in those stakes races. And want to thank Jerry Jackowitz and John Lendo for their victory in the third race. They both picked El Rey Dorado that won in the third race for us. Jerry also had the Exacta. That paid $7.90 for a buck. And by the way, John Lindo on his sheet yesterday, his suggested pick four, late pick four, that thing also hit on his sheet yesterday. Golden Gate had a win and you're in for the Preakness in the El Camino Real Derby. That winner there was endlessly just looped the field in one. Mike McCarthy, the trainer there, Umberto Rispoli went up north to ride that winner, paying $3.40, outrunning Tapalo, and a guy named Joe finished third in that race at Golden Gate. And finally, at Aqueduct yesterday, the Heavenly Prize winner there was Saddle Up Jesse, Manny Franco for Brittany Russell, paying $4.10 as the winner there, outrunning Movie, Moxie, and Spiked finished third in that race at Aqueduct yesterday. By the way, Jerry J's selection at Aqueduct finished second. He got the reverse play home there. That Exacta paid $15.40. The trifecta, also with his link-ups, paid $26.50 for the reverse play at Aqueduct there. And finally, at Gulfstream Park, winner of the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint was Coppola for Dale Romans, and Edgard Zayas paid $10.80, outrunning, that's right, I should say Panther Island and Edmond, who finished third. Panther Island was second in that race. Okay, those are the results from yesterday. We got a lot to do today. Jonathan Hardoon standing by, and we're going to get started on this Super Bowl show. Don't go away. We'll be right back with your racing menu, and then Jonathan Hardoon.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sports book and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. It is a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. Cold, but beautiful here in Las Vegas. Temperature right now is 37 degrees outside. We're going to get up to 53, but the sun is going to be shining. It's going to be a perfect day here in Las Vegas. West Coast is clear as far as the weather is concerned. Most of the Midwest is, but you got a lot of action going on through Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and right up to the mid-eastern part of the nation. So we might have some weather conditions at some of the tracks today. Remember, most of the tracks, practically all of them, will be done by the time the Super Bowl kicks off. That's for sure. A couple of early starts. And we're going to get to our menu right now. One last result from yesterday, the Ozark Stakes there at Oaklawn, won by Valentine Candy. What a hunch there, huh? Valentine Candy, Steve Asmussen, trained, ridden by Ricardo Santana, paying $5 even, winning the Ozark Stakes yesterday at Oaklawn Park. All right, now your racing menu of racetracks available today in the Racebook, simulcast centers, and racetracks around the country, reminding you, as we always do, first post times are Pacific. So if you're listening here in the Pacific time zone, these will be your first post times. Otherwise, trust me, folks, you got to adjust to the Pacific time zone. Now, we know we've got so many different platforms that we're on around the world. Here from the South Point studios at YouTube, where you can just hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can see us and hear us. And, of course, here in Las Vegas, our anchor radio station simulcasting these shows is Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. Of Of course, our websites, racedaylasvegas.com.vegas.world.global, your iPhone, your Android with the KSHP app, and anywhere you get your podcasting. So simply put, there's a lot of people listening in other time zones. Adjust to the Pacific time zone so you don't miss anything, like I miss Mom and Dad. Okay, here we go. We begin with Aqueduct. Now, Aqueduct's going to start early. Aqueduct's first post time today is 8:50. 8:50 at Aqueduct, 9 races. First post time again at the Big A is at 8:50. 8:50 today. Gulfstream Park is next. Gulfstream Park has 10 races. The feature is the Ladies Turf Sprint. 5 furlongs on the turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. A field of 9 before scratches. The 9-5 favorite there is Stone Silent with Junior Alvarado. Gulfstream Park's Pick 6 jackpot carryover cash in the pot is $64,496, and the first post time at Gulfstream is at 9:10. Laurel Park is next. Laurel Park has 10 races, and Laurel has the first post time with a Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $4,161. 9:25 first post at Laurel. Tampa Bay Downs is next. Tampa Bay Downs has 9 races. Their first post time at Tampa Bay today is set at 9:30. 9:30 at Tampa Bay. They got a super high five carryover there, $12,021. And their Pick 6 jackpot carryover left over from the big day yesterday, how about $132,910? Tampa Bay, first post time 9:30. Then we go to Oaklawn Park. First post for 9 races at Oaklawn, 10:30. Santa Anita has an early start time. Santa Anita's first post time is 11 a.m. 11 a.m. this morning for the first post at Santa Anita. Feature race today is the Sweet Life Stakes at 6.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-old fillies. That'll be the 7th race on the card. 11 go to the post before any scratches. It's a wide-open event. The morning line favorite is 7-2, and that is Voodoo Magic with Joel Rosario aboard. Santa Anita's first post time early again is 11 a.m. Then we go to Golden Gate, Northern California. They have their first post time early as well. They have 8 races today at Golden Gate. First post time 11:15. 11:15 at Golden Gate. Pick 6 jackpot carryover there today, $69,100 at Golden Gate. Super high five carryover, $2,945. And then Sunland Park will wrap it up. They have 9 quarter horse races, and their first post time for their quarter horse races is set at 11:25. 11:25 at Sunland Park. Pick 5, regular Pick 5 carryover, $3,023 in the Pick 5 at Sunland Park. All right, that's it for this Super Bowl day. Everybody's going to wrap up early, and we're going to go right to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, big day yesterday with your handicapping, buddy.
Yeah, we had a good day. That's what we're here for, try to give out winners.
Well, you were just right on the mark in both the Suncoast race and the Sam Davis. Both of those horses, the Sam Davis horse got bet down big, but actually the winner of the Suncoast was 5-2 on the morning line, so we got $8 there, and the favorite never fired.
That was a Rapoli, another disappointing weekend for Rapoli. There was a minor show pool, actually, for people that were paying attention. Some big show prices in that race when the big favorite ran off the board for Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, that was Life Talk, by the way, and I imagine they'll take a look under the hood on that one and find out what's going on. Coming up next weekend at the fairgrounds, got a big day of racing at the fairgrounds. A couple of more races with leaderboard points for both the Oaks and the Derby, and the one for the Derby obviously is the Risen Star, and the Risen Star, of course, drew a field of 12, so there's a full rack going in the Risen Star next week. And your man, Mr. Cox, has a horse in the race. So there's Chad Brown, Kenny McPeak, all the usual suspects in that race. So it's going to be a big racing card next week at the fairgrounds. They've got quite a few stakes races on tap there.
They certainly do. And when you have these barns that have all these young horses, they have to, keep them separated from each other. So you look for races all over the country. And when you have a barn like Cox has with a bunch of them, you got to try to keep them separated. And it's a strategy. Believe me, it's not so easy. You have horses running on top of each other. And again, you want to try to keep them separated.
Yeah, no question about that. And Jonathan, your thoughts about what you saw yesterday in the Sam Davis. I know it wasn't the cream of the crop going there, but that horse had a solid win, I thought.
He did. The only question with him is going to be the distance. It looked like he doesn't want to really go much further than that. There's an interesting story behind that horse. The owner of that horse bought this horse for Jose D'Angelo. He paid $40,000 for the horse. He's an Iowa bred. And the same owner owns a horse that Baffert has that unfortunately won't be eligible for the Derby that he paid over $1 million for. So you just never know in this game. They gave Jose the $40,000 horse. They gave Baffert the $1 million horse. And they have a shot to go to the Derby with this horse that's an Iowa bred.
Yeah, I would imagine the horse they paid $1 million for will perform well of and within himself.
Down the road.
Yeah, down the road. But it ain't going to be for the Kentucky Derby, that's for sure. And of course, at Santa Anita, the Las Virginas won by Baffert Trainee, which I thought was a solid win because Dick Mandella's horse was very well meant in that race. But
and he had no excuse. He really had no excuse, And again, but what do they get out of these 5-horse races? They're much better off when they run in the big fields. They get battle tested. Because in Baffert's case, it doesn't matter. But come the first Saturday in May, you want to be battle tested. You don't want to come out of 4 and 5 horse fields. And, you're much better off coming out of a full field, 12 horses. You get banged around. You know what it's all about because you know that every Derby, that it's a rough run race. No smooth sailing in the Derby.
Yeah, you're right. Kinza, though, a nice solid win there. Juan Hernandez, I thought, employed the right tactics with this horse. Yeah, the tactics with this horse that he, rushed out and got the lead and wanted to take advantage over Copion early. And knowing that Baffert puts good foundations in his horses, knew that he was going to have a fight with her, when the time came when they drew alongside, but they never got there. I mean, it was just, he was like tracking her all the way and couldn't pick up the length and a half to get by
they
her
could have
side.
gone around 3 more. They could have gone around 3 more times. She was never going to get to that horse.
Nope, that's for sure. That was a solid win there. All right, we know there's some weather coming your way. Right now, it's looks like a little rain, but by the time next week comes, you're going to get some snow around there, isn't it?
Yeah, up in Saratoga, they're expecting about 7 inches on Thursday, but let's see what happens. New York, they change it to rain, so that's good. At least they'll get the races in. If it's snow, they look to cancel, but so far, it looks like it's just going to be rain.
All right. Well, today at Aqueduct, there's 9 races. They got a little bit of an early post time at 8:50 a.m. Pacific time this morning. No stakes races on the card, but I think a pretty competitive card of good gambling.
Well, honestly, I thought it was kind of chalky. I did find a horse that I like in the 9th race that's somewhat of a price. It's the number 2 horse, Outer Water Berry. A 3-year-old gelding from the David Donk barn makes his first start as a 3-year-old. This horse gets Lasix today for the first time. He's never run on a fast track. He finally is going to get a fast track today. Katie Davis aboard to ride. He's been a mile. He's listed at 10-1 on the morning line. I like number 2, Outer Waterbury, to win today's 9th race out at Aqueduct.
All right, that's your first pick. Jonathan Hardoon's pick here, the 9th race at Aqueduct, number 2, Outer Waterbury, 10-1 on the morning line with Katie Davis aboard, the 2 in the 9th race at Aqueduct. And again, the early post time there, as well as Santa Anita, which I will assume that will be your second pick.
Yeah, we're going to look at race number 5, 6.5 furlongs on the turf, but it's not down the hill, it's on the flat. And we like the number 7 horse in here, Captain Coochies. We gave this horse out last time when he was DQ'd, and everybody's still shaking their head about that DQ. Anyway, he's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. Kazuchi Kimura aboard to ride. Number 7, Captain Coochies, graduates for the second time and wins today's 5th race out at Santa Anita.
All right, he's gonna get a legit maiden breaker today, right?
Well, he had a legit one last time, but they took it away.
Well, you're right. It was legit, but they took it away anyhow. So he's going to get the good housekeeping seal of approval victory today, you think, in the 5th race, the 7, Captain Coochies, and Kazuchi Kimura aboard there. Nice 4-1 on the morning line at Santa Anita. Now, you have, I think, 4 sheets today?
Oakland, Aqueduct, Santa Anita, and Gulfstream.
All right. Well, we're going to be busy there trying to build up some Super Bowl betting money. All
There you
right.
go.
Well, I'm going to ask every one of you horse handicappers to be a pigskin prognosticator. So what do you think?
I would play under because the whole world says the game's going over, and the whole world is never right. So for that reason, I'll be the contrary and say under.
Under the total amount of points in the game.
Of points.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
No, but you didn't give me a side.
49 reluctantly, only because I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, so I have reasons to.
All right. Well, there's a few people in the studio that are clapping with you, but I think you guys are in the minority there, that's for sure. But thanks a lot, Jonathan. Enjoy the game. Enjoy a couple of days off, and we will talk to you on Wednesday. Hopefully, you'll probably have a soapbox or two.
I'm sure we will. Thanks, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
All right. You got it, my man. Jonathan Ardoon coming to us from upstate New York. When we come back, we're going to go right down the street to Rich Eng for the Super Bowl. Final thoughts about the Super Bowl from Richie. He's been giving us the latest on the odds, the latest on the props, the latest on possibilities and players and all that. Now it's time for Richie to stand up and tell us, well, who do you like? We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All righty, back on the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Super Bowl Sunday. And as you can see on the screen, if you're watching us on the YouTube streaming at South Point Studios, all the big game parties that are going to happen here at the South Point today in the Grand Ballroom, the Exhibit Hall, the Napa Room, and all the showrooms, as well as, of course, the sports book. And when the races are over in the race book, they'll turn that in to a big sports book screen as well with more seating. Betting windows, self-betting kiosks available. Of course, the betting windows down here are available. Food and drink specials. They're not going to, rip you off for food and drinks. You can have a good time eating, drinking, having a good time with your friends. Come on out. And all of these rooms free, okay? You have free admission. You can park your car for free, walk in the door for free, get up there for free, sit down, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the Super Bowl with your friends. Maybe family or etc., buddies in here, and have a good time and root on the big screen TVs and just have a great time here at the South Point with the Super Bowl down the street. Free admission, and again, you must be 21, and the doors are going to open at 10:30. Although there's a lot of people milling around right now, I got to tell you, behind us, it's pretty darn full for this time of the morning, that's for sure, and we're about 8 hours away from the game. All right, time to go to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. And I've been over at the South Point on Super Bowl Sunday, and usually they have ticket writers in every window on the sports side and even spill overflow into the race side because so many people are betting, but their customer service is second to none.
Yeah, I mean, we got 8.5 hours when we go off the air. We have 8.5 hours before they kick off in the Super Bowl, and people are already starting to mill around. It's just a great feeling. Finally, the anticipation, all that pent up. Now it's time to get it started, you know. And as the hours grow closer and closer, the money's going to be pouring in. As we speak, the numbers.
Well, the numbers at the South Point, Ralph, I checked them while you were talking with Jonathan. At the South Point, the 49ers are still a 2-point favorite. 47.5 is still the total. But I can tell you from some, I have 8 phone apps on my, 8 sports apps on my phone. There are some -1.5s with San Francisco, meaning that finally some of the books have tilted toward Kansas City.
Yeah, and they say at the moment, at least, and we know that more than 50% of all the action is going to be coming in the next 8 hours or so. But they say that the amount of tickets, the volume of tickets, is favoring Kansas City, but the volume, obviously, the amount of the money bet is still favoring San Francisco. But now the Kansas City money is starting to push to the middle of the table, isn't it?
That is correct. And, there may be some course correction still because, as you say, we have quite a few hours to kick off. You get some 6 and even 7-figure bets on the 49ers. That'll move the line. But anyway, that's where it is out there right now, -2 and -1.5 in some other books.
Well, we know the proposition bets. They'll be milling over that and taking a shot at some of the proposition bets. And there's an array of proposition bets out there. It's like the War and Peace volume of pages for the proposition bets. They've been becoming more popular every year, and it's just like crazy now. It's from the coin toss right up to the time who gets the first ball, et cetera, 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 et cetera. It's just really something else. But the prop bets that you were zeroing in on and told us about on the show are the ones that you kind of think you might have a little bit of an edge in.
Yeah, I've got 4 what you call vanilla prop bets in my pocket. I have Brock Purdy, 49ers quarterback, under 242.5 yards. I have Isaiah Pacheco for Kansas City running back, over 65.5 yards. I have the 49ers tight end Greg Kittle, over 3.5 receptions, and then I'm trying to remember what my 4th one is, but I have a 4th one. I'll probably remember it by the end of the segment.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Or you just reach in your pocket and read the ticket. That's okay. whatever you can get. That's for sure. But I want to remind.
I remember. It's field goals, over 3.5 field goals in the game.
Oh, okay.
Combined team.
Do you think this game, I mean, everybody looks at this game as they're expecting an exciting game, scoring up and down and all that stuff because of the two very high-profile, high-octane offenses that will be on the field today. But I know that when you get to the Super Bowl, sometimes these guys are tight. They do not want to be the player or the team that makes a mistake that loses the game. And so sometimes they're a little bit more conservative. How do you see this game playing out?
Well, turnovers are always key in football, whether it's high school, college, or the National Football League. So you don't want to turn the ball over. I think both teams will protect the ball as best they can. As far as strategy, I mean, Kansas City, I think their hand has been played during the playoffs against Miami and against Buffalo and against Baltimore. They need to run the football. They need to throw short with Patrick Mahomes because that's one way to hide, quite frankly, an average offensive line for Kansas City. So we've seen them drive the ball for 6-8 minutes and generate points at the end. So, and the thing with San Francisco, I think they will learn from the Detroit Lions blueprint in the fact that you can run the football. I'm sorry, I was thinking more of the Baltimore Ravens and going back to the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. You can run the ball on Kansas City. Baltimore opted not to run the football, but I think Kyle Shanahan will run the football with Christian McCaffrey. And, one angle is if you run the football and generate first downs, you keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. So I think there will be less possessions, which would lead itself possibly toward a lower score.
Now, when I was looking at the game, I kind of thought, and naturally, I'm not as much of a deep handicapper as the sports guys here. These guys here on our shows are just great. But I thought to myself, to keep it simple, you've got Purdy that's going to manage. He'll manage the game. Okay, he's enough down the line where he's going to manage this game, and certainly Mahomes is Mahomes. He's the GOAT right now. But I think it's going to come down to the running backs because you don't want to be in a 3rd and 8 situation, 3rd and 10 situation. If your running backs can get you 5 yards on that first down and make it where you get a 3rd and 3 or a 3rd and 2 or at least a 3rd and 5, I think, like you said, in managing the game, I think it's going to be the running backs that make a difference in this game to keep these teams, at bay without having to make big, huge plays.
I agree with that because they call that staying on schedule. If you can get 3rd and short, chances are you can convert the first down. And in fact, a term that one of the people I listen to on the radio, he calls it Canadian football, meaning if you can get a first down in 2 plays, you're even better off not even having a 3rd down because Canadian football is only 3 downs on offense. So, you want to matriculate the ball. You don't want to get in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, and that means penalties. That's another thing I'm glad I mentioned penalties because typically in the Super Bowl, the officials swallow the whistle. There are very few penalties in the Super Bowl typically. They have to be, the holding calls have to be really obvious, and the pass interference have to be really obvious, but you will see less flags in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and especially towards the last 2 minutes, if it's a tight game, they don't want to be the deciding factor. They want the deciding factor to be on the team, on the field with those teams, that's for sure. Well, Richie, time has run out. It's time for you to make a selection for the Super Bowl for our listeners.
Well, I'm going to read off a few stats, and then the culmination will be my pick. I've said during the week that Patrick Mahomes has been an underdog 13 times as a Chiefs quarterback, and his record is 11-1-1 straight up. Somebody extended that further with the Chiefs to the years that Alex Smith was quarterbacking the Kansas City Chiefs. And even when Alex Smith was an underdog 9 times, he was 6-3 as the Chiefs quarterback. So that really is a compliment to Andy Reid. Andy Reid is the Chiefs coach, has had 24 games where he's had 2 weeks to prepare. His record is 20-4 straight up. I'm going to keep going. This to be real quick. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, he's been in 4 Super Bowls. He's 3-1, and I think his greatest accomplishment was he stopped Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the 16-0 New England Patriots when the Giants upset them. So there's a lot of data pointing toward Kansas City. That's going to be my pick, Ralph, is the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, you got it, my man. And I want to thank you for a great job of covering the Super Bowl for us. On the racing side of it, but race fans are going to be Super Bowl fans for sure today. And Richie, even though your background with me has been in racing, you have a love for sports betting and certainly for football, and it showed in your reports for the last 2 weeks. So we appreciate that. We appreciate your selections throughout the NFL season. You did a great job for us. But listen, we need to just pack up a little bit more of that Super Bowl betting money before it actually tips off. So give me a horse at Santa Anita.
I'm going to give you probably the last thoroughbred race before the kickoff of the Super Bowl. So it's Santa Anita race number 9. It's a mile on the grass. I like the number 2 horse, Cali Bay, 3-1. Flavion Pratt riding for Philip D'Amato. And this is the kind of pocket trip that I love on the 2-turn in the grass. He draws the rail, even though the 2 is not the 1. The 1 is already scratched. Yeah. But Pratt should be able to sit what I call a pocket trip down on the rail, safe ground, and then angle out for a racing room. So let's go with number 2, Cali Bay in the 9th.
Number 2, Cali Bay in the 9th and final, the last race before they kick it off. Take that win money and make a play, whatever you want in the Super Bowl, and have just a great day of racing and football action, that's for sure. Thanks a lot, Rich. We will talk to you on Wednesday and either celebrate or commiserate.
Yeah, we'll review what happened on Sunday, win, lose, or draw.
You got it, my man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, Richie did a great job, folks. Did a great job. All right, coming up next, John Lindo, and I'm going to ask him and Jerry who they like as well, so don't go away. We'll be right back on the Super Bowl Sunday Race Day Show.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sports book and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Okay, if you've been joining us on the South Point Studios feed on YouTube, you not only hear us but see us, and the South Point Studios network has got a couple of great shows in addition to our coming on in this platform here at the South Point Studios, and they are all about betting and sports betting, and they are. The Punchlines with Frank Nicotero is on 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from noon to 1. But Frank will be roaming around today, around town, and he'll be doing special vignette coverage, guest coverage on this network leading up to the Super Bowl. You want to make sure you keep this on, however you're watching us, whether it be on your computer or your TV. Keep it on because we will have updates from guys around, not only around the building. I'll be doing one or two, and certainly Frank will. So Frank, his normal shows, Punchlines, is on 5 days a week, from noon to 1. Now, Sports by the Book, 7 days a week. It's on Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. Saturdays and Sundays, 8:30 to 10 a.m. Pacific time. But it's Super Bowl day, which means they're going to come on right after us at 8:30. As soon as we wrap up, they'll be setting up in the studio. They'll be on at 8:30, and they're going to go till 10:30 this morning. 2 hours of this. Updates with the proposition bets, the odds, all of that. Right here. So if you're watching us and listening to us at the South Point Studio at YouTube, don't go away because we're going to give you a little bit of a flavor of not what is only going on in the minutes and hours leading up to the Super Bowl as far as the betting, et cetera, and parties, but also what's going on here at the South Point. Again, all of the big parties here. So don't forget that, okay? Those are great shows to be watching and listening to, that's for sure. Now we're going to go out to John Lindo standing by in Southern California. John, good morning. Let's punch up his sound. It's on? I can't hear him. No. Anyhow, I'm sorry, John, I can't hear you, but we'll work on that. But as long as you can get out to the listeners out there, again, good morning. All right, John, we're having technical difficulties as far as the sound. You might want to try to re-up on your thing right there, and we will try to get back to John in just a minute or two. Technical things do happen, and certainly on this Super Bowl day, a lot of media around town. I can tell you from the response of what's been going on television, both cable TV, regular TV, our local TV, and certainly in the newspapers, et cetera, all of the media that has come upon Las Vegas in volume from around the world and the celebrities that are here is just amazing. Even for Las Vegas, it is just absolutely amazing. And all of the people that are running the show are doing a great job as far as that stuff's concerned. Do we have John hooked up again? Nope, John is not with us. Sorry, John, we can't hear you. You might want to just cut it, just disconnect and try to reconnect again. Maybe that'll work. All right. In the meantime, we're going to take. I want to remind everybody that John Lindo's Lindo Report today for Santa Anita will be available here in the South Point Racebook, as it is every day. It's here exclusively. This is the only place you can get John Lindo's Lindo Report in Las Vegas. It's right here at the South Point Racebook. It is free of charge and complimentary. Like we told you, he covers all of the races with selections. Then he gives us a suggested late pick 4 at the tracks he's covering. And on the weekends now with Santa Anita and Gulfstream running, he also gives us a coast-to-coast pick 5 suggestion. Now, yesterday, he had his suggestion for the late pick 4 at Santa Anita that hit on the sheet. So you got to, he does a lot of stuff and all that good information at the bottom as well. Now, I will give you the update on as far as the jockey trainer stand. Oh, here, I think I can hear John now. John, can I hear you?
Can you hear me, Ralph?
I certainly can. Reconnected on the internet, and I'm sure you're going out. So good morning again on the Super Bowl morning.
Yeah, I'm envious. You guys got to have a pretty fun day out there today.
John, I was explaining to everybody your Linda report, obviously, and you've got one out there today for Santa Anita. But when Santa Anita only runs 3 days a week, et cetera, you jump in and you do Gulfstream or another major track like with the big races coming up. So you got coverage most of the time 4 to 5 days a week of your Linda report. Today you have Santa Anita plus the coast-to-coast pick 5. And yesterday we didn't get a chance to do the jockey trainer standings. I know that on your sheet yesterday you had Hernandez and Pratt tied at 23, but they both won 2 races yesterday, so they're still tied. And, of course, Antonio Fresu is in third with 20. How about the trainers?
I don't have that in front of me, Ralph. I wasn't prepared for that.
That's okay. I got him. Mark Glatt is leading with 14. Phil D'Amato with 13. Doug O'Neill with 11. And Bob Baffert is third with 10. He had 9 going into yesterday. Of course, he had the win in the Las Virgenes, that's for sure. And this comes hard off of my lips. Usually I hear you say it, but favorites are hitting at 44%. And I'm going to tell you, folks, after what happened yesterday at Santa Anita, it ain't going down. That's for sure. Huh, John?
No, Brad Free reported this morning that favorites in the graded stakes races at Santa Anita are now 11 for 21.
Oof. Man. Well, and most of them are favorites that are trained by Bob Baffert.
If it's not Baffert, it's Mandel, and if it's on the grass, it's Phil D'Amato. It's pretty simple right now.
Yeah, no kidding. John, from what you saw yesterday, either at Tampa Bay or at Santa Anita, thoughts?
I know the Tampa Bay race came up with a soft number. I think the buyer speed figure for the winner was 80, so that was kind of slow. And I thought the 2 fillies in the Las Virgenes at Santa Anita, both Kinza and Copian, ran really well. I mean, they went fast early and they kept going, and you just got to give Kinza credit. First time 2 turns after 1 sprint prep, and she never got tired. So, we'll see how good she is. She's any kind of filly right now.
And I got to tell you, Juan Hernandez continues to display why he's at the top of the jockey standings. I thought the winning move was coming out of that gate and trying to get as much on Copian as she could early, because you know about Bob Baffert horses. They got great foundations. So if you can get the jump on a horse like that, you might be able to stave him off, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Bob Baffert horses, they never need a race. They are fit because they're working with horses that are as good or better as they're running against just within the own barn. So, she made the lead and she galloped out in her debut like she'd like 2 turns. But that foundation with only 1 sprint prep, that was the question mark.
No question about that, John. Well, you do have a sheet today. Santa Anita has an early post time, 11 a.m. They want to wrap it up by the time the kickoff of the Super Bowl. So give us some Super Bowl betting money.
Well, I have a problem here at the house because as far as the Super Bowl goes, Ralph, my wife's walking around here with a 49ers hat. She's from the Bay Area, and I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. So we're going to have to be careful about that one. But
I think you guys ought to watch the games in separate rooms from one side of the house to the other. and
no, that takes the fun out of it.
And keep the dog in the middle, that's for sure. Don't worry about it, John. My significant others got me betting $10 proposition bets until the cows come home today over here, just to have something going. So we'll just try to keep them happy, that's for sure. What do you got? Nice win yesterday, by the way.
Thank you very much. We'll go to the 4th race at Santa Anita today. In the 4th race, number 5, Sakura Blossom, has run better with every start. Won off a layoff before. She comes off a layoff today, gets Lasix, gets Flavien Prat, and the only start at Santa Anita on the dirt was a win. So a lot of her in her favor today, 4-1 on the program. Number 5, Sakura Blossom, race number 4, Santa Anita.
All right, 4th race, the 5 is your selection at Santa Anita, and Santa Anita 4th race, the 5 horse there. And as I said, nice work. I know that the late pick 4 didn't pay a lot at Santa Anita, but you got to take what they give you, and you had it on your sheet, and your sheet is available for Santa Anita right here at the South Point Racebook right now, free of charge, exclusively because they love horse players. All right, John, you told me you like Kansas City. The better half of the entry like San Francisco. What do you think what do you think it's going to end up points-wise?
Well, I put a prediction on my sheet. I made it Kansas City 27-24 to keep harmony in the house. The only wager I made was the first half line. I took Kansas City. San Francisco got off the slow starts against Green Bay and Detroit. First Super Bowl for Brock Purdy. So I'm going to go with Mahomes for the first half plus 1/2.
All right. All I got to say is good luck, and I don't mean just in the Super Bowl betting itself. Thanks a lot,
I can
John.
cook, Ralph. I'm covered if things go bad here. We're okay.
All right. You got it, my man. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Good luck.
All right, now we go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. I know he's got his Raiders hat on, but the Raiders are not playing today, but they are playing the Super Bowl in the Raiders' house. Good morning, Jerry.
That is true. I also have my New York Giants T-shirt on.
Definitely.
I don't want to.
You got everything. Got it all covered, Jerry. That's for sure. And
I'm very.
Want to congratulate.
I feel like a blood relation there. So I
want to congratulate you, obviously, on your selections yesterday. Our handicappers did a great job yesterday, and again, we emphasized that when Jerry gives out a horse, get that reverse play because you want to be a little bit wrong and still cash, right, Jerry?
Well, yeah, and that was our press. So
yeah,
we're talking about Cheeky Tico coming in second at 7 or 8 to 1, and the favorite 5.
And the horse that won the race, you did have a press on it, so it was a kind of a double whammy there. As far as
right, but also you should always if you have a price horse, you should always press it with the favorite, even if you don't like it. It depends. If you like it a little bit, like I did, you can press it more, but you've got to balance out your payout. That's very, very important.
As you have been explaining to us on your several handicapping tips in the last couple of weeks here on the show. All right, time to get started. Aqueduct and Santa Anita both have early post times to wrap up before the Super Bowl. What do you say at Aqueduct?
Okay, just a quick note to anybody out there who has the power page. There was an error in the 9th race. I've sent out corrections. The corrections are in your inbox, so please go ahead and get the correction. It's just in the 9th race. Don't worry about it. We're going to go to the 9th race for our play. That's not going to change whatsoever.
All right.
Number 9, St. Gordon's race once for Chad Brown, had a lot of trouble. Today he gets blinkers on. There's potential here for massive improvement. I don't really like betting one number horses. I'm sort of breaking some of my rules here. So I want 7-2, 3-1 or 7-2 or better. I'll take the 9 in race number 9. Play the 9 over the 1, 2, 3, and 10. Do reverses 1, 2, 3, and 10 back over the 9. The 9, St. Gordon's. That's my feature play. If we get 5-1, it's a pop-out key.
All right, you got it, Jerry. And the 9th race, you like number 9. The 9 over 1, 2, 3, and 10 and reverse. We got a Siraco play going on with Jonathan Ardoon. He liked the 2 horse, and you've got that covered in your reverses as well. So you like the 9 over 1, 2, and 3, and 10 and reverse. Jonathan likes the 2, so the Siraco play there is the box of the 2992. You like the 9 in the 9th. And what about Santa Anita?
Yeah, my press will be 2992. There you go.
All right.
Let's go to the 4th race. She's my niece. You got another Siraco play. I'll give it to you. The 2 horse in the 4th race. I love this horse today. I think 8-5 is probably okay. 3-2. I'll take the 2 over the 3, 4, 6. I'm adding in John's 5. So the play is the 2 over the 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do reverses. Play the Siraco play, 2, 5, 5, 2.
All right, now the 2 is She's My Niece. That's the name of the horse with Juan Hernandez aboard. The 2 in the 4th race. And the link-ups 3, 4, 5, and 6 and reverse. And, of course, John Leno came with the 5 a bit earlier. And so I got 2 Siraco plays before the Super Bowl. In the 4th race, the box of the 2, 5. But you like the 2. As the key horse. And, of course, you reverse, so you'll have that covered as well. All right, Jerry, you got 15 seconds to give me your Super Bowl pick.
KC, 24-17.
All right. Kansas City is his play. Most of our horse handicappers, like Kansas City. I just want to see a great game. And we, again, invite you out to the South Point today and for all the Super Bowl parties that'll be here. This network will be cranking all day long with the updates and features from around the property and around town. And simply put, just everybody have a safe day out there and enjoy yourself. Be careful. And Jerry, you got the last word.
I don't think Kelsey proposes. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Hey.
Have a great race day, everybody.